right, well, Dave, it's time for the rigs and techniques here at the Yak Gear Workbench. You know, Dave, the Jupiter rig is a very, very effective tool when it comes to fishing when you're anchored.
Correct.
Or whether you're on spot lock or anchor lock on your trolling motor.
And it even works good when you're moving as well.
Absolutely. So let's tell everybody why you and I like it so much.
Well, this is a great rig. It was invented to fight and catch big fish in inlets and stuff, and that's that's where it was made, to catch big fish in inlets, big redfish and trout and whatever sits in a big, an inlet with a lot of moving water.
Flounders.
Exactly, and it catches everything inshore and offshore. And what it's made to do is to be a mobile rig that keeps your live bait or your big chunk bait or whatever fairly close to the bottom in a heavy current. Because a lot of times if you're putting out a live bait or a big chunk and there's a lot of current moving, it'll drift up and come out of the strike zone. And a lot of those fish, when there's a big current moving, they hug the bottom. Because they don't have to move. If they're sitting right on the bottom, the wash goes right over their hydrodynamic bodies, and they can sit right on the bottom and not have to move that much. And once they come up off the bottom is when the current will get them. So they can sit there and not use any energy and wait for stuff to come sweeping down to them. And that's what this rig is made for. Eagle Claw has made one, so you don't have to make one yourself if you don't want to. But
pre-rig.
Yeah, we'll show you in a second if you want to learn how to make them by yourself. But what this does is it positions a nice sized rolling barrel weight in between two swivels so that can't move all the way up and down the line. And that gives you the opportunity to put a leader of your choice, how long you want it to be, on one end, and then you tie the other end to your main line. And what that does is that this barrel swivel can roll along the bottom without getting snagged usually.
So you hold this one, Dave. Let's clear a little spot here. Let's move this Fenwick for a second. I'm going to come around this other side.
Oh boy.
And I think it's really important so that people really understand how this works.
Right.
You throw this out, and now let's say that you throw 90 degrees to the current. Your bait fish, your croaker, or pinfish, or whatever it is, your
big chunk bait
or a chunk. Now what happens is you throw this out 9 degrees of current, and you are the guy attached. Stay back just a little. Okay. And as it goes down current, look how it rolls so that it doesn't get hung. Go ahead and go with me here. But see, this is what makes this perfect until it gets completely down current, guys. That doesn't get hooked in the bottom. If you're fishing a really rough bottom, as you know, you've fished this thing 1,000,000 times, all you do is go like this.
And it bounces up?
Bounces up because it has no sharp edges, and the hook is up here. It's not buried. It's not like a jig head in the fish's face where he's anchored to the bottom and he gets hooked in the bottom.
Right. And what this also does is, it keeps the fish your live bait isn't really going to lift this weight. It's going to pretty much stay in this zone, this lower part of the current where that fish is looking for stuff.
Correct.
If that bait gets too high in the water column, he's not going to go up there and chase it.
Correct.
He's waiting for that stuff to come drifting down to him and in an ambush type of situation. And when you're using a live bait, you can use a circle hook like that one or a live bait hook. Right. A live bait hook is a really good thing. You hook a big pinfish through the nose, and that'll work great. That's a L8PG 6/0 live bait hook.
Right.
Or you could use one of these primal circle hooks here.
Right.
And these are almost foolproof because once that big fish, that redfish or whatever, swallows that bait, you really don't have to do anything except put it in gear and start to wind.
Correct, because it's going to slide into the corner of his mouth.
It's going to come and get him right in the corner of the mouth. Now, you can also use this offshore if you're fishing on a wreck and you want to catch a cobia or something. A lot of times, you can make this leader a lot longer if you want to.
Right.
And target cobias or snappers that are higher in the water column.
Correct.
Because once this thing is all the way down on the bottom, your bait, if you can put a plug bait on there, something that floats a little bit up, that gets up above everything else, and it gets all the attention.
Right.
And cobias really will come and get that. They'll eat stuff off the bottom, but they really like that stuff that's floating a little bit up off the bottom, 2 or 3 feet sometimes. You can make this 6 feet or 8 feet if you want to. If you're dropping on bottom, you don't have to worry about casting it.
And you can put it on a medium heavy rod.
Like this world-class Fenwick rod
Just
here.
like this Fenwick, which allows you to have lots of power here when you hook the big fish, but then you still have the capability of a light enough tip.
Yeah, that's their best graphite rod that they make. It's got 40 to 36 modulus graphite in it. It's incredibly sensitive and incredibly strong.
And everybody can go to our website and order this stuff right off our website.
Correct.
Boom. Those are some big guns over there. And let me tell you.
These?
That's what I'm talking about. That was some good information.
Not so bad.
That's not so bad. All right.